had an interesting couple days. So. I kind of got scammed, but it's like, sorry, I scammed myself, so don't worry about that. But I'll tell you guys. So pretty much, so Yvonne had some friends over. And she's like, hey, do you want to come over? Some of my friends are going to come over, and I don't know, they just want to hang out. So I was like, cool, I'll go over. I like to meet Yvonne's friends or hang out with them. So when I get over there, two of her friends, their names are Kai and Kiam, and they're twin brothers, and they have their high school friend over. Anyways, they're already ripping Pokemon packs, and I was like, ooh, Pokemon cards. I have some of those, but I don't really collect Pokemon cards. So I was like, you know what? Let me go grab this bag that the Pokemon company gave me a while ago, because you guys look like you would want to open them. And I remember there were some boxes in there, and I haven't touched them. I've been waiting for someone to, talk about Pokemon, because I don't really open Pokemon cards. And so then they were like, okay. And I was like, I don't know what's good, what's not. I grabbed this bag, boom, and they're like, what the? What? You don't want those? And I was like, well, I don't know. Are they valuable? And they're like, well, I mean, that's a lot of Pokemon cards. I was like, yeah, Pokemon gave them to me. Let's open up. They're like, we had like 2 boxes, but I brought like, I don't know, like a bunch of boxes of boxes. So we took them out and we start opening, just, and they're like, all right, you rip them like this, then you take the card, you get rid of that card, you put the card in the front, flip it over and go, and then your hit's gonna be here. And I was like, all right. So we're opening cards and coming out, oh look. So anyways, started collecting some cards. Abe got me this for Christmas. Pretty cute, got a little slowpoke. Anyways, so I got some cards. Kind of cute. Now we have, if you ever ripped Pokemon cards, there's a lot of trash. Okay, this is one of my reasons I don't like collecting Pokemon cards. It's because there's this bulk of cards you don't want. Then there's the packaging, and then there's the packaging in the packaging. You got just crap everywhere, and I'm like, I get paralyzed by this mess, and I'm like, and it stacks, and anyway, so there's all this Pokemon mess. We're all just like, wow. So Yvonne, as Yvonne does, loves to bake, okay? So she loves to bake cookies, and we love that she's baking cookies. So there's not too much space on the counter for her baking. So she takes her cookies, she's baking, yada, okay? We'll come back to this. Anyway, so then, that game Boo-Ray that Grant Williams had taught me, Nick, Aiden, Broden, and Yvonne. I was like, hey, we're gonna teach you guys Boo-Ray. So I'm at the table, we're in the living room now. You guys know where the Christmas tree was, like in that little sitting area. So we're all around that table, and I'm like, all right, so you go like this, you go like this. The goal is you don't want to get booed. You want to, grab a book, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, after like 5 or 10, no, maybe 10 minutes, I hear Yvonne scream, and she's like, whose phone is in the oven? And I was like, what? She said, bone? What'd she say? And she's like, whose phone is in the oven? And I'm like, uh-oh, phone? And I was like, oh my God, guys, do you have your phones? Whose phone is in the oven? And so I'm like, it's not my phone. Yeah, of course it's not my phone. So I look and everyone's like, it's not my phone, it's not my phone. So I turn to the counter, the counter or whatever. Yvonne's holding up a pan. And then she then flips over, and I'm probably gonna get cancer just from touching this, but she it's not too bad, guys, don't worry. But she pulls this out, and it's like popped out, screens popped out and everything. And I look at it and I was like, uh-oh, that's an Android. That's an Android, and that's a super dead Android. And so I was like, and then I asked her to look at the bottom of the pan, and on the bottom of the pan is one of these Octo Buddies, which I live by, and I was like, it's mine. And then she's like, what the? And I was like, how does that happen? And we were just rewinding time, and I was like, oh my God, my phone was on the counter, face down, like this, like that. And there's no space on the thing, the pan, on the table, because of the Pokemon cards. So she had just, put the pan down real quick to put the things on, sticks to the pan. I think in the chaos of it all, she doesn't feel the weight of the phone. Okay, and then she cooks the phone for 12 minutes. Weirdly enough, it was kind of scary. Like a lot of it was just intact. Like this was full, like this thing. I mean, this is obviously a new one, fully intact. Anyways, this is gonna go away. This was for demonstrative purposes, and now I will burn it. Well, not burn it. I don't know where to put it, but it's going away. So could you still speaking of pulling stuff from the phone, okay? So I was like laughing it off. I was like, don't worry, okay? I have a Samsung sponsor. I have a backup phone. We're good. Don't worry, okay? Everything's okay. I'll take my streaming phone that has a different number. You know, and her friends are like, what the? Like, are you okay? Like, and I was like, don't worry. You know, I was just laughing it off. Like, this is just ridiculous. And so, you know, I do have a couple spare phones. I'll say I'm very grateful in this moment for my sponsorship. I've been sponsored by Samsung for 4 years. Okay, so I was like, let me go grab my backup Samsung. And so I ran to my apartment to grab my backup phone that I used to stream on. So it has a different number. It's the one I IRL stream on. It has so then I come back. I'm like texting my mom, or I text. Okay, so I try to like move the SIM over from, you know, I try to move from my other number to my fried number to my old phone, but I realized I need to access my other phone, my current phone. Oh God, how am I explaining this? I need to access my phone that is fried to my phone that is not fried. And so then I got logged into the site, the AT&T website, and I'm like, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna need you to verify like your number. And I was like, oh, I don't have it, or 2FA from your number. So I was like, oh, I can't do that. But they said, oh, but someone else on the account. And luckily I share an account with my mom and my dad. So I was like, oh, mom, I'm gonna get a verification code for my mom, but I can't access my mom because I have my number. So I'm like, Yvonne, can I borrow your phone? So I call my mom. Of course, she doesn't pick up a random number. So I text my mom. I'm like, hey, mom, it's Leslie. This is Yvonne's phone. Long story short, phone's destroyed. I didn't want to tell her about the oven incident because she's gonna freak out on me. So I was just like, listen, the phone's gone. TLDR, are you there? Need a code? No response. So I was like, all right. So I go to my other phone and I'm like, hey, mom, it's Leslie on my other number. You don't know about this number. Don't worry about it. TLDR, my phone's destroyed. Don't contact Yvonne. Contact me here. Okay, I get nothing. So I go to Discord on my PC at home. I'm like, hey, mom. So ignore those 2 other numbers. Just message me here on Discord. TLDR, phone's dead. Need help tomorrow getting my verification code. Okay, she finally responds and she's like, yeah, call me tomorrow. Okay. So then I have this phone that I need to get the number on. Okay, I have, so the TLDR. So I have an actual different phone. So now there's 3 phones we're gonna be working with here. So I have my streaming phone that has like this random number on it that like I don't use. It's like area code, like I'm a 583 or some shit. Okay, the 58, that's a made up area code. 583 area code just for streaming. Then I have my baked phone, which is my number that I cannot lose. And then I have a phone that I need to put all my new shit on, okay? Oh my God. So then I call AT&T, or no, I'm online with AT&T and I'm like doing all this stuff and they're like, you need to call in to do this. So I'm on the call with this guy and he's very nice. His name was Peter. But basically, Peter puts me in like an infinite 5-minute wait loop where he can't figure it out. He's just like, give me 5 minutes. This is a weird problem. Usually it's no problem, but because you can't access your number, it's giving us some issues. 1 moment while I talk to my advisor. So he talks to his advisor, come back. He's like, my advisor and I are still working on it. Please wait. I was like, no worries. 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Okay. And finally, he's able to send a verification code to my mom. My mom sends it back. He's like, all right, thank you. And he's like, actually, one more time. Send it. My mom's like, got it. Anyways, after 40 minutes on the call, he's like, Leslie, you're going to have to go into a store. And I was like, what? Then what was the point of everything? And he's like, yeah, listen, it's a strange problem. It's a different department, but you have to go in the store. So I was like, have a great day. So I was pissed. So I'm like, okay, Ray's surprise like dinner thing. I need to be at Myung's at 7 to she's playing Cobblemon. It's 6 o'clock. Do I have time to get to the store, come back, and you know? So I was like, I do. Boom, grab in my car, vroom, drive my Lambo, turn, pull into a parking lot, Okay, pull into the parking lot just for it there to be it's like a private parking thing. So there's a gate blocking me. So not my Lambo. Well, you know, this is my story, okay? I can make it a Lambo. So I turn my Lambo in, then I reverse. Okay, I panicked because like I drove into like the wrong parking lot. It was like a blocked thing, a private parking thing. So I'm stressing out. I hear my car go dun dun. That's me wheeling down the curb, like not realizing there's a curb. Anyway, so dun. Then I turn left. Okay, then I park inside of like a parking lot area. I have my phones. I have 2 phones. One of them is the phone I want my number on. It has no number attached, and one is my like 583 phone, my streaming phone. I go in and I was like, "Hello, I would like I need an eSIM on this phone." And he's like, "Okay, no problem. Come sit down." So this guy now, here's my problem, and right away he goes, "Ooh, this is a different department's problem." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Listen, because you don't have there's this issue, there's like a pin tied to my account that I couldn't remember and my parents didn't have for some reason. Because I didn't have access to my number and this pin, for some reason, I don't even know what pin this is, they couldn't like verify my stuff. And they're like, yeah, because of that, we do have to like, maybe you can come back in tomorrow." I was like, "Well, listen, I was on the call for an hour with somebody. He told me to come in store." So then that guy's like, "All right, let me give a call. Like, let me give this number a try." He's on speaker, and the guy's like, guy on the other side picks up, and he's like, and then he goes, "Please say hello." And then I'm like, "Oh, hello." And then the guy on the other line says, "Hi, ma'am, are you alone?" And I was like, "Well, I'm at the store." And he's like, "All right, are you on speakerphone?" And I was like, no. And he's like, "Please make sure that the call is like just us two." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, it's just us two." And then he's like, "All right, can you give me the pin?" And I was like, "I don't have the pin." He's like, "All right, we need to verify your account then. So you'd correct me if I'm wrong. You don't have access to your main number." I was like, "Right. The phone burned in an oven." He's like, "Okay, so we're going to have to get a verification code from somebody else on the account." And I was like, "Okay. One moment, but I need to ask my mom if she's around." So I have his phone. This is, by the way, the AT&T store phone. I grab my other phone and I'm literally doing this at the store. I looked so stupid. I was like, "One moment." I'm like, "Mom, hey mom. Okay. One second, sir. Hey mom. Okay. So are you there to get a verification code?" And she's like, yeah. And I was like, "Can you send the verification code?" And he's like, "All right, sending." And I was like, "Okay, mom, did you get it?" She's like, "No." "Can you make sure he sent it to the right number?" I was like, "What was the number that you sent it to?" He's like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." And I was like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." And she's like, "Yes, that's my number." He's like, "It should have sent." I was like, "Mom, it should have sent." She's like, "I didn't get it. How long does it usually take?" I was like, "How long does it usually take?" He's like, "It should be immediate." And I was like, "Mom, it should be immediate." And she's like, "I never got it." He's like, "Okay, well, if it didn't go through, I can't send it again." I was like, "They can't send it again." My mom's like, "Well, okay, it's not our fault." And I was like, I know, Mom. So my mom starts, her temper's going up. I'm staring at this guy across from the table who's just kind of like, I got 2 phones in my hands. And I was like, "Okay, well, what are our other options?" And he's like, "You're going to need the main account holder to call this number, like this number." And he reads out the number. I was like, "Mom, can you get Dad?" She's like, yeah, they need Daddy to call in. And I was like, "Yes, because he's the account and they need it from his number now. Because the 2FA thing, I don't have my number. Your verification code isn't working and we don't have the PIN." So my mom's like, calling my dad over, and my dad's like, "Okay." So now my dad gets on his phone in the background of this call. Okay, so there are now 3 AT&T employees involved, me, my mom, and my dad. Okay, holy. So I hear my mom on the phone. I hear my dad in the background of this call on a call with another AT&T employee. And I was like, "Hi, sir, do you mind staying on this call to make sure that everything goes through?" He's like, "Actually, I'm done. I can no longer help anymore." And he just hangs up. I was like, okay. So I passed this phone back to, he said, he literally went, "Job's done," and he hung up on me. So I give that phone back. I was like, he just hung up. So now I'm on the phone with my mom, and my mom is yelling at my dad because she's like, "Hey, you don't need to give all that information, blah, blah, blah." And now I hear my dad going through the same thing as I went through, where it was like, "Are you alone? Make sure you're off speakerphone." And now my mom's like, does he think does he think that daddy's on gunpoint or something? Like, what is going on? Like, why are they being so weird? And then, I'm now on speakerphone and my mom is like going off about AT&T employees being weird. And now I'm like, mom, stop being disrespectful. Like, there's probably a reason. Maybe there's been an incident. They're protecting your safety. This is for the customer. And my mom's like, it's just weird. Like, I don't have him at gunpoint. I am so frustrated. This is so ridiculous. Blah. So my mom's having a fit. My dad is now going through this interview in the back that takes you, I feel like 20 minutes. It's like in the year of 2001, were you living in Arlington, Texas? Were you living, these like crazy verification interview problems that and my mom's like, I'm gonna go listen to see what's going on. And so she was like whispering. She's like, yeah, it's like some weird interview that he has to go through. I mean, this is ridiculous. My mom, I'm like laughing to at the store, like cackling because my mom's like losing her mind. Finally, I hear my dad go, should be through. My mom goes, ask the employee if the verification went through. And I was like, sir, can you check if the verification went through? And he's like, refreshes his little tablet. And then he's like, not yet. And then I was like, okay, I don't think yet. Stay on the phone. And then finally it refreshes. And then he's like, you're good. And I was like, we're good. And my mom's like, we're good. We're playing literal telephone, boop, boop, boop. And I was like, Mom, I'm going now. And she's like, tell them that they're never gonna hear back from me. I'm never calling them ever again. And I was like, Mom, just hang up the phone. Like, shut up. Bro, she was losing her mind. I don't even know. Anyways, finally, my phone, mind you, by the way, during this time, in order to check, my mom is on the phone. I turned her off speaker because I was too embarrassed what she was saying. But the employee is like asking for my phone to check if the eSIM was going through. So he'd be like, can I get your phone? And I was like, Mom, I'm passing the phone. Stop talking. And no, she doesn't stop talking. I can hear her yapping as I'm passing the phone. The guy's refreshing the eSIM. I can hear my mom's chirping out of the phone. I'm like, oh my God, stop talking. And I'm like, Mom? And she's like, it's just ridiculous. Mom. Okay. Holy. So I finally get my phone. I'm getting strange calls. Anyways, anyway, it's AT&T. So pretty much, I get my number. We're all good. And then I make it back just in time to go to Ray's surprise little dinner thing yesterday. And we all go to Myung's apartment. And it was great. So that's what I was doing. It's very... I didn't even tell you the complications that happened in between this, okay? Not being able to access your number is so frustrating. I didn't have my number, mind you, for 36 hours. Okay, 36 hours I didn't have it. I was using a different number. I didn't know what I was missing, calls, whatever. Okay, in this time, of course, I end up playing a Counter-Strike game offline, and I see Aiden from the yard, and he was playing with us, and he has all these cool Counter-Strike skins. So I was like, whoa, I want one. So I decided to go look online. Hey, what are the best sites to buy Counter-Strike skins? I've never bought a Counter-Strike skin in my life, okay? I buy cases, but I decided to buy a skin. And I was like, I've always wanted that AK case hardened knife, or AK. I really did. So I Google it. The first site that comes up is some site called, I don't even know, tradeit.gg. So I'm like, tradeit.gg. Okay, don't use this site. Okay, I mean, I don't know if I'm just stupid. Whatever. I go to tradeit.gg. I look up case hardened AK. I find it. I look at all these. So I go and I click on it, and I'm like, I'm going to buy this skin. I'm going to because I'm on my CS arc. I've been eyeing this skin, the case hardened, for a long time now. I was looking through all the different ones. I was like, I want this one. So I was like, I was like, if you think about it, as long as don't use this logic. By the way, this is my logic. Don't listen. I buy the skin. I get to use it. The market goes up. and I sell. So I'm getting paid to use a skin in my mind, okay? There is a world the market goes down, and yeah, that does happen, and that could happen. But in my mind, the world is that they could go up in 20 years. I don't sell for 20 years. I'm just getting paid to use the skin, okay? So I go to buy this skin, okay? I'm so excited. It's $1,000. I'm like, this is it. All right. I'll explain to my mom later that I'm spending $1,000 on an AK skin. She won't understand, but whatever, okay? So I use my credit card. It gets declined. And I was like, what? Okay, so I go to my debit card, and then it's like, type in the 6-digit verification code sent to your number. And I was like, my number? I don't have my number. My phone was baked. Can't you understand? So I was like, shit. And then I see an option for pay with crypto. And I was like, I never bought anything with crypto, but I have some. And I was really itching for the skin, guys. Like, you don't get it. I like needed it, okay? So I was like, all right, I'm gonna figure out how to pay with crypto right now. So I go and I was like, follow all these things. And I was like, all right, now you're gonna send this money to this Bitcoin, to this crypto address, some long thing with a QR code. And I was like, all right. So I remember that I had some crypto in my Robinhood account. So I go to Robinhood, and it makes me do all this like verification thing. I changed my number in Robinhood to my temporary streaming phone number for all of this because I was like, I need it. I need it now. So I was like, change my number, send me verification code, yada, yada, yada. When I want something, I need it, and I need it now. So then I was like, yeah, send. And there was like, all right, you sure you want to send Bitcoin to this address? Verify you understand the sellers, legitimate, yada, yada. And I was like scanning my face, taking photos of my ID, and then it sends. And as I look over to the window to check if it's sent, I see that the window, like I said, your 20-minute session has expired. I'm like, what? Expired, but I sent the money. So then I was like, maybe it didn't send. So I just close out. Okay. And I was like, it didn't send. We're good. Because, if it wouldn't, why would they take the money if it's expired? So I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So I do the transaction again. In my mind at this point, the money has not gone through. There's nothing sent. It expired. The address doesn't work. So I do the exact process one exact more time. And then that time it says sent. And I'm like, perfect. Then I check my outgoing transactions, and it says 2 of them went through. And I was like, what do you mean? The first one went through? I thought the session expired. So I was like, frick, where did that money go? And then I look at the top one, and the top one says it went through as well. And I was like, oh, maybe it glitched, and they're actually 2 different transactions because, or they're the same transactions. It's just like confused. But then I looked, and the amount was like slightly different because the value of Bitcoin had changed in that 10 minutes or whatever, like by a tiny bit. So then I realized, and so I checked my Bitcoin. It went out twice. And the worst part is, then I checked my inventory on Trade It, and I never got any gun. No skin. And I checked 2 hours later. No skin. Okay? I don't get anything. I got scammed. So then I was like, well, I still need this case hardened AK. I'll figure out that money later. I'll call Robinhood. So then I go to a different site, CS Float, csfloat.com. And don't worry, this one's verified, okay? This one I had vouchers for on. This is a good site. So don't try this at home. So then in my mind, I was like, you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy a cheap skin first to make sure it goes through. And then before I spend $1,000 on this thing. And then I was like, you know what? As punishment, I'm going to buy myself a field tested. I don't deserve a factory new. I don't deserve with a pretty one. I deserve a janky one, and I'll still have it, whatever. Okay. But then I found this gorgeous one that had like a lot of blue on it, and it is field tested, but you can't even tell. So, but it was $1,000. And then I forgot about my entire rule about how I was going to spend a very little amount first to test it. I just sent it. Boom. And luckily, luckily this one actually went through. And so I did the crypto thing again, face scan, sent. They got the money. And then I just sat there and twiddled my fingers while I waited for the trades to go through. I bought I bought it, and I got it, and it happened immediately. So I bought the skin. I bought my first Counter-Strike skin ever, for a 3x the price it should have been. But I'm probably gonna get my money back soon. I just have to contact the companies. I was told that I could maybe get it back. Sure. That I could get it back if I but check it out. Check it out. I even like these stickers. Skadoodle and Paz. Look how much blue it has. It's so pretty. Okay, I know a lot of people never liked this skin, but it's one of my favorite skins ever. I like always love it. And people are like, even back then I was like, I want the case hardened AK. And people are like, ew, that skin's ugly. I love it. Anyways, so this is my $3,000 field tested AK-47. Please tell me you love it, so it's worth something. F. Okay, it's a sign. Stream. I'm closing the game. It's because I have CSGO and Minecraft loading. That skin is a choice. So listen, the skin itself wasn't $3K. The skin was $1,000. I paid 3 times for it. But I'm going to get the money back soon. I just need to reach out to the company, Robinhood, who has good customer service, I'm hoping. And so I just need to ask them if they will give me the money back, because it went to like a dead address. So how did you pay 3 times for it? I just said I went to a bad website. And it could have all been, well, no, actually it wouldn't all been saved if I had just not had my number, if I had my number, but, kind of, yes, actually, because I would have used my credit card with lots of protection, that's why we use credit cards over crypto, which is hella sketchy, and you can't ever get your money back, ever, if anything goes wrong, ever, in crypto, if it's sent into the universe, but if I just had my number, I could have just verified my debit card. Boom. If it went through, then if it was nothing, then the bank would have helped me. But now I got to pray to, I don't know. So don't do what I did. Don't do what I did. And don't. What does this name tag say? I don't know. I can't rename it for 7 days. So it could say some crazy shit on it. I don't actually read. I think it's in Japanese. It was in Chinese? Okay, it was in Chinese. It was in Chinese. And if anyone, I don't know. I hope it's not a Chinese slur or something, but face it, it's gone. No, it's not gone. I haven't reached out to customer support yet. I was very stressed because right after that incident, then I had to go to the AT&T store and we saw how that went. So anyways, that's the story of my, how I got my AK-47.